This is the Vermont Cynic, and we are here with Professor of English Tony Magistrale to talk about RateMyProfessors.com. Professor Magistrale, how are you today?
I'm well, thanks, Steve.
Glad to hear it. So what I have here in front of me are 3 reviews of you from the website. One is positive, one is negative, and one is kind of in between. Do you have any preference as to which one you want to hear first? No,
Sure.
not at all? Okay. Why don't we go with the negative one first?
Go ahead.
It says, I know that Magistrale is very popular, but personally, I really disliked the class. He stuffed in mindless and irrelevant political hits wherever he could and came off as incredibly pompous. He's an entertainer, not a professor. How do you respond to that, Professor Magistrale?
That's a little harsh.
A little harsh?
A little harsh, yeah. But you're right, I am an entertainer. I am definitely an entertainer. But you've had me in class, Steve. This is not what these courses are about. The entertainment is to have fun and to make the learning fun. But I would say that the entertainer is about 5% and the professor is 95%. So I would beg to differ with that.
Fair enough. The kind of in-between review says, I hate to be the only one who says anything bad about Magistrale, but I had a hard time in his class. There was a good amount of group work, which I personally hate, and he always took attendance, which was a problem for me. But the course material and lectures were interesting, and he's a neat guy.
Well, that's very kind, but doesn't the criticism sort of answer itself? That attendance was taken, so therefore I had to show up. Well, yeah, I mean, what does Woody Allen say? 90% of life is showing up. Yeah, show up. You got to show up. What was the other part that they said in the...
They said there was a good amount of group work, which this person hated.
This person particularly hated. What can I do about that? If there was some good group work in the class, it was because it was a way of kind of breaking up the form that we were using most of the time. It was an attempt to try to... probably if I used group work, it was with writing. And it was a way of giving students an opportunity to work with each other's writing and work with each other. So, I mean, you're not going to please everybody, but maybe this student should spend a little time thinking about why this person doesn't like group work, and open the possibility of saying, well, gee, maybe it's me.
All right. And then finally the positive one, which reads, Tony is the best teacher at UVM by far. He loves his subject, Gothic Lit and Film, and this is really clear in his classes. He's extremely enthusiastic and pushes you to be a better writer and student. If you are not prepared to come to class, do the reading, and work hard on papers, you will not do well in this class. But it's worth it.
Well, it's wonderful, nice to hear people say things like that, but it goes back to that earlier review, right? You got to come to class. That's right. I do take attendance. I do expect you to be up front and ready to go. Because if I'm going to invest the kind of energy and the kind of will and time that I do with my scholarship and my teaching, you're damn right I'm going to expect you to be there too.
And then I had one other thing I wanted to mention. You are one of the few professors on the site, as of when I checked, that got the illustrious hot chili pepper rating.
Ooh.
So how do you respond to that? How do you feel about that?
Geez, well, it tells me that I got to continue to stuff my pants with socks and other artifacts.
Whatever does the trick.
It's working.
Yeah, there you go.
It's working.
Professor Magistrale, thank you very much for your time.
You're welcome, Steve. Always good to see you.